What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How was you guys' New Year's? This video is a very important announcement. I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys that I will be going to Tokyo, Japan for the next 4 months, including this month, I guess, for my spring 2020 semester. Yeah. So yeah, I'm moving to Japan for 4 months basically, and it's pretty ironic how the timing works because we also just moved into a new unit, or I guess a new apartment, at the start of the year, so that's why my surroundings look a bit new. Maybe I'll do an apartment tour at some point, but some people are creepy and kind of too nosy, so that's kind of still up in the air. But let's talk about Japan. I am beyond excited. It was a very stressful process. I basically did everything that you're not supposed to do when preparing for an experience like this. And it's funny because it's not like I didn't do the research. It's not like I didn't spend a lot of time looking into study abroad, figuring out which program I wanted, figuring out what would work best for me in my career. But a lot of things did not go according to plan. So I guess plan for things to go wrong too if you're thinking about studying abroad just like I did. I came to the decision to study abroad just by listening to other students' experiences. I was one of those people that assumed that study abroad would be super expensive and not that accessible to someone of my income bracket, let alone something that would really be best for me in my college career, because I've transferred, from community college, and I had like other things going on with my credits to where I wasn't sure if a study abroad program would even fit well within my academic requirements. But it does. And I am very pleased to say that I don't have to pay a single thing out of pocket for my study abroad experience. So I am definitely here to give you all the tea, and for the next coming weeks I will be focusing on my study abroad experience, as well as uploading a few videos on the side in regard to just my lifestyle, what I'm experiencing as an asexual black woman, and also with school and stuff like that. So I'll be pretty busy. I know I promise the videos a lot but I honestly am kind of building even my career around this sort of thing when it comes to communications and journalism, and also writing and rhetoric, so this will be good for me, period. Now, the specific study abroad program that I am going on is through TUJ, or I should really say Temple University's Japan campus. So TUJ is the largest international university in Japan, I believe, or at least in Tokyo, and it houses a good mixture of students from different backgrounds. So I believe at least about 30% of the population is international, and then another 30% is more so 20% is overall international, from countries other than the United States, and then there's about 30% that's Japanese, and then 30% that's American. Damn it, where are my statistics? So TUJ, by student population by nationality, there's 41% Japanese, and then almost 40% from the United States, and then 20% other, like non-Japanese, non-United States students. So I guess I was like right on that one fact. But also, according to this, the class size is pretty average, or small I should say, around 19 students per class, which is so different from me as a UIC student or a University of Illinois Chicago student, because sometimes I take classes in like one of those like really big lecture halls where you kind of can sit really far back, and there's almost like an auditorium setup where the professor is lecturing towards the front of the class. So I'm looking forward to having smaller classes and really having a more in-depth experience at school. Another thing I'm going to be doing through Temple is partaking in an internship. So I am a marketing student at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and I will be studying marketing while I'm abroad. I'm going to be an intern for PechaKucha, which by the way, I hope I'm saying that right, but it is a type of storytelling method or platform or like style that's really new, but it's been spreading across the globe like a wildfire. It's more accessible than TEDx, like how you see speakers on TEDx a lot, or TED Talks, but it's basically the community just slotting time on random Saturdays of each month in order to give 20 seconds. The setup is 20 seconds, 20 slides. So you have 20 seconds to speak on what it is that you're talking about, and after that 20 seconds you'll go on to the next slide, and it will be 20 slides total. I think that would be interesting for me because I am a fan of public speaking. I'm an advocate for public speaking. I may not be the best public speaker, but I do believe in storytelling, and I always have a lot to say to a lot of people. So I think working with an organization that kind of works with speakers and trying to see how they put this platform to life and plan events surrounding this is going to be very good for me, as well as for my marketing experience. And I'm going into detail as why I chose this specific internship and this specific program, I suppose, to help you all with your own decision making. And if you want to compare and contrast what I as a student find beneficial to me versus what you may be considering before going abroad or before enrolling in a regular university in your home country, then this is the sort of things, the sort of thoughts that's just floating around my head as I prepare for this opportunity. So, the program I'm going on is the program I am going to study abroad with is Temple University, and I'm going to their Japan campus, but they have campuses all over the world. Through TUJ, I also have a $1,000 scholarship that's going towards the expenses of my academics abroad. So that's one way that I don't have to pay out of dime for study abroad. But to go into more detail about other opportunities and scholarships I think it's very important for those watching this video and for a lot of people to know is that all of my current financial aid, my federal and state financial aid, is going toward my study abroad experience. I'm going to repeat that. My EFC on my FAFSA is 0, meaning that I am allotted the maximum possible financial aid, both federally and state granted to me as a student. And all of that aid is going to apply to my study abroad experience because TUJ is a national campus. It's a national school here in the United States. They have campuses internationally. So attending an international campus in a different country is going to be treated as if I were to be attending school as I am here in the States. So all of my financial aid is going toward my study abroad program, which literally costs the exact same as the tuition here at UIC. Maybe not exact, but very, very, very close. Around about 20K at UIC, about 20K through Temple University at Japan. Another thing is that I earned 2 scholarships. The first scholarship that I earned was actually originally granted to me, which is how I'm on a full ride at the University of Illinois at Chicago. And that scholarship is really the most substantial amount that's really helping me kind of pay for my study abroad and as well as my current education at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I got another scholarship through the Fund for Education Abroad. So through FEA, they host a smorgasbord of scholarships for multiple students from all over this country. So if you actually, one second, let me pull up their website. So for the Fund for Education Abroad scholarships, their eligibility requirements are that you must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, you must be currently enrolled as an undergrad at a college or university in the United States. Study abroad program must be eligible for credit at the student's home institution, and the study abroad program must be at least 4 weeks or 28 days for the summer in country or countries. So currently the summer for 2020 is open up until January 17th, so you all have a bit of time to apply for that if you are watching this video, if you're thinking about studying abroad. I will also go into more detail about my scholarships in a second video, but to get the most immediate information, I'm just going to provide that for you right now. So you'll basically do an online application. I provided an unofficial transcript as well. If you do happen to receive a scholarship through Fund for Education Abroad, which was a 2% chance, by the way. So there was a 98% chance I didn't get the scholarship. So I'm one of the 2% of lucky people who did earn a scholarship. But the pool of scholarships is pretty wide for a student, so you're more than welcome to possibly like shoot your scholarship ideas to me. I can't guarantee that I can get to everyone, but my channel is still really small right now, so if this video doesn't like magically or randomly like get more views or something like that to the point where I can't manage a huge load of people who need help, I'm always open to helping others throughout this process. So you'll have my social media, and you can reach out to me via comment section if you want me to reach out to you personally as well. That, coupled with other expenses and things like that, pretty much meet the amount that I'll have to pay in my program costs. So it kind of levels out like evenly, and then everything else I'll use for spending money and things like that I basically saved on my own, or I'll have to get from help from my family member or parents and things like that. But it will really be no different from the basic expenses that I have here living off campus as far as food goes, because I don't have to pay rent, because I already have it paid for in my tuition. There you go. My flight to Tokyo leaves on Monday. Today is Saturday. I finished packing. But the funny story is that I was actually supposed to be in Tokyo literally Tuesday the 7th of January, and I had to reschedule my flight because my visa wasn't processed yet, because I waited until the very last second to submit my application right before the office closed for the holiday. It may or may not take less time to process than you think if you also happen to run late to doing your visa, but I highly recommend that you actually get that done as soon as possible. But aside from that, make sure you get all of your documents in. I also didn't even have a passport before I looked into studying abroad, and that process takes about like 2 months max to get all of that in order. And I had an issue with one of my documents, so it took me even like a little bit longer than the usual few weeks that it may take for you to get your passport. So, long story short, to get your passport as soon as you can, even if you don't even plan to study abroad for that semester. As soon as you have the money for it, just do it. This is going to be my first plane ride as well, so I'm nervous about that. Never been on a plane before. This flight is going to be over 15 hours long, if not longer. Might be closer to 18 hours, come to think of it. So I'm more worried about heights and the fear of flying than anything else, but everyone I talk to about flying just kind of warns me not to be bored and make sure I have stuff saved on my phone. So I guess I'll take that more into account and download movies and like TV series and stuff like that. I don't know really what other things I can say to you all to kind of help at this very direct moment. I will say that I'm super excited to be going to Tokyo. When I went to the study abroad office and they asked me what place or program I would be most inclined to go to, I did let them choose for me because I didn't want any sort of previous biases to get in the way of my decision making, because a lot of people may choose to go to Paris or Barcelona, Spain for an experience simply because that's somewhere they have always wanted to travel. So I didn't mind where I was going to go at all, whether it was Shanghai, whether it was Tokyo, whether it was Barcelona, whether it was a small town or Rio de Janeiro. I didn't mind at all. And they told me that, well, as a business major, there were a lot of avenues for me to explore as far as programs that I can really hugely benefit from. And as a person who's never left Chicago, basically, and who's never been on a plane and never left the country, then my options are basically limitless in regard to where places I will gain the most from. I was strongly encouraged to just pick from, any place I would most want to go. And for me, that was Tokyo first and foremost, because it's just growing up watching anime, growing up watching different movies that were centered in Japan, and just seeing the way that even Japanese people are culturally different from what I'm so used to growing up with. That this sense of commonness and commonality that is amongst, that is amongst the traditional side of the Japanese culture. So I've always been fascinated by that, and I do want to go and just learn more and really just play a part in just observing what is there and what's around me. So I really hope I do you all justice in trying to capture my experience in Tokyo and also other parts of Japan. I really hope that I do my best to remain respectful and to pay homage to a culture and society that has influenced me so much and has empowered me throughout my childhood and my growth. And more than anything, I just really hope that this would lead to me, branching out of my comfort zone even more and learning a new language and going into more experiences. So y'all are more than welcome to follow me along this path, and I'm be more than happy to just share everything with y'all. So see you guys in Tokyo. Bye.